Central Oregon has a problem nobody wants to say out loud, so I'm just going to say it. We have thousands of kids who want to skate, play hockey, figure skate, and we have curlers who want to start a league tomorrow. We have families who just want to skate on Saturday, and what do we have for ice? We have a seasonal sheet, a few months, a year, weather permitting. Then the season ends, the ice goes away, and every skater in Central Oregon hits pause and goes and does something else. So think about what that actually means. You cannot build an athlete on a pause button. No other sport works this way here. The soccer kid plays year round, the lacrosse kid plays year round, the hockey kid, the figure skater, they get a season, then shut down. As a coach, I've seen this many times. They have to drive over the pass to get their kid on ice, 3 hours there, 3 hours back, multiple times a week. A parent spends more time in their car than their kid spends time skating. And most families, they just won't do it. So the kid quits, not because they weren't good enough, because the ice ran out. That's the problem. Now, here's what we're doing about it. We're building the Forge, a 70,000 square foot, 2-sheet, year-round ice facility in Bend, Oregon. 2 full NHL regulation rinks, open 365 days a year. And here's the part that changes everything. It's a nonprofit built by the community, designed to operate debt-free. Big swing. But stay with me because I'm going to walk you through exactly why this is. The model for us, we believe, works when most rinks fail and how you can be a part of it. No fluff, just the facts. So first, why do we think most rinks struggle? They're built on a landlord model. The rink rents ice to whoever shows up, $500 an hour, one customer at a time. When nobody rents, the ice sits empty, the compressors keep running, and the building can bleed money. That's one of the reasons why rinks close. Not to mention, operating costs are just through the roof these days. It is just really, really expensive to own a rink. And a lot of them are 30, 40, 50 years old, and they just cannot afford to increase the revenue, increase the cost, and offset the deferred maintenance. They've got too much debt service. It just costs too much. The model's a little bit broken. So our goal is really to kind of flip the script. We don't want to rent the ice, we program the ice. Instead of renting a sheet to an outside group, we run the programs ourselves. 50 kids on a sheet in a station-based practice. Really every kid part of an annual program, and every hour of ice generates more than what we believe could be double a typical landlord makes on the typical 60 minutes. Same ice, same electricity, same staff, double the output. That's our hope. Our overarching goal, is a rink that prints its own sustainability and can fund its own scholarships, community ice time, and learn to skate programs really forever. Access without excellence is clarity that dies. Excellence without access is a country club. And we're trying to build really both at once. And that's the whole point. Now, let me show you what your money actually builds, because an ice rink undersells it pretty badly. So we have 2 NHL regulation sheets, a premier rink with more than 800 stadium seats, real seating built into the structure, not folding chairs on a rubber mat. The second sheet is, set up for practices, games, figure skating, curling maybe, and public sessions. 2 sheets mean the machine never stops. 1 sheet gets maintained while the other one runs. Games on one, practice on the other. That's how you serve 3,000 people a week, which is what we're hoping to do without the schedule really collapsing. 8 locker rooms, dedicated teams, coach's office, referee room, youth locker room facility. So an 8-year-old has a real place to gear up, not a hallway bench. We have skate rental, a pro shop, sharpening site, so nobody's driving across town because their kids' edges are gone. We have state-of-the-art industrial refrigeration plant, dehumidification system engineered specifically for the ice arenas. Boring? Maybe. I kind of geek out on it, but that's the difference between championship ice in July and a fog bank with a puck in it. We are built for July. And then here's the part that we believe nobody is expecting: a full restaurant, beer hall on the main level, on the glass, looking straight onto the ice. A huge fireplace is the focal point, outdoor patio with fire pits, upstairs a mezzanine bar overlooking center ice, a gaming area, meeting rooms, a VIP lounge. When I say VIP lounge, I'm thinking more like, parents can go work in a quiet environment instead of hearing those pucks banging off the glass. A full dry land training facility, fitness space so athletes can lift, and they're 30 feet from the ice they compete on, as well as an overall event space. Here's our thought process. So why does the restaurant matter? Because a rink where parents can sit in a freezing lobby for 2 hours is a rink parents resent. And here's the thing about Ben. This town runs on remote work. thousands of parents here don't have to be at an office at 4 p.m. They have to be on Wi-Fi at 4 p.m. So we designed it so that you drop your kid off at practice, open your laptop at a table next to the fireplace or upstairs in the VIP lounge, perhaps the mezzanine, maybe you want a beer. And your kid's first crossover, you get to watch them through the glass without missing anything. Practice time stop being lost time. It becomes your most productive 2 hours of the day with a view. One kid does homework at the table, the other one's on the ice. You close your inbox. Then everybody has dinner together at the beer hall before they drive home, which is now 10 minutes, not 3 hours. That's a building families organize their week around. We're not building a rink with a snack bar. We're building Ben's athletic living room that happens to be championship ice in the middle of all of it. So here's the offer stack. Because if you're a family in Central Oregon, here's what actually changes for you the day this opens. Your kids can play youth hockey year round. They can curl year round. They get real coaching, real development, strength and conditioning included in the same building. No mountain pass, no 3-hour drives, no quitting because the season ended. Figure skaters, same thing. This is finally your building too. Dedicated freestyle ice every single morning, every day of the year. No scraps of leftover time at the local seasonal sheet. Real training ice, specialty skills sessions, off ice conditioning down the hall, and a competition grade facility to grow into. A skater and Ben should not have to move to Portland or any other town for that matter to develop. And now they don't. Adult hockey, they'll likely be 7 nights a week. Pick up at lunch. You don't age out of this building. Your 4-year-old can learn to skate on Saturday morning with hundreds of other kids, taught properly on great ice. And if you're not an athlete at all and you just love to skate, Friday, Saturday night public skates every week, all year. Date night, birthday parties, lacing up your kids. December, again and again. A beer at the glass while your friend's league game goes to overtime. Not only you're ordering another pitcher. That's really the stack. Every age, every level, every day of the year, one building. Now picture where this goes, because the day one offer isn't even the real prize. The real prize is what your year-round ice does to a region over 5, 10, 15 years. I mean, picture this. Friday night, high school hockey in Bend. Summit versus Bend High. Mountain View versus Caldera. 800 people in the stands, student section going nuts. A rivalry that doesn't exist 5 years earlier because there was no building to hold it. Every hockey town in America started exactly this way. Very, very common in the Midwest. Somebody built it in a barn and the culture showed up. So picture the pipeline. A 4-year-old in Saturday learn to skate becomes an 8-year-old youth hockey, or even a 6-year-old youth hockey, becomes a 15-year-old playing under the lights in their high school, becomes a 25-year-old in the adult league, or has gone off to play in a better state and came back. Their own kids learn to skate. That's not a facility, it's a flywheel, and it's run for generations. Picture the same figure skating side of the same flywheel. Hundreds of skaters training daily, a real competitive program, coaches relocating here because the ice is here, and Central Oregon kids landing jumps in the same building where they first took their first lesson. Forgive me, I'm on a soapbox. Instead of moving away for their chosen sport, seasonal ice caps this region at a few hundred skaters squeezing into a few short months, year-round ice, 2 sheets, real programs. That doesn't work. Thousands of hockey players, thousands of figure skaters, that's not a hopeful guess. That's what this region, this size supports. Everywhere that ice actually exists. The demand isn't the question, the building is. And this building is going to solve that. Let me tell you what we're actually building, because it isn't ice. It's just a delivery mechanism. Right now, and this is really important to me, the average kid spends 7 hours a day on a screen. 7 hours. Gosh, that seems like a lot. And every parent watching this knows the feeling. You can't just take the screen away. I mean, maybe you can, but you have to replace it with something better. Something who has teammates who notice when you didn't show up, a coach who expects you at your best, a locker room where you learn to win with a class and lose without quitting. A 6 a.m. practice that teaches a 12-year-old something no app ever will. You set the alarm, you show up, you do the work, you do the hard thing, especially when you don't feel like it. That's what ice sports actually sell. Not skating, accountability. A kid who commits to a team learns to be somewhere on time, to hold the standard, to be counted on, and those skills don't stay at the rink. They show up in the classroom. They show up on the kid's first job. They show up respecting other people. They show up 20 years later and how those kids raise their own kids. And the friendships, ask anyone who grew up in a rink, myself included, the kids you battle with 6 a.m. become the friends you stand with at your wedding. Figure skaters who train side by side for a decade, beer leaguers who've had the same locker room for 20 years, curling teams that aren't just 4 friendships with a schedule. You don't get that from a feed. You get it from a place, a physical, real place where people show up each week, week after week, year after year. That's the product. Stronger kids, connected families, a generation that knows how to work, how to lose, how to win, and how to belong. The ice is really just where it happens. So let's zoom out one more level because this is really bigger than recreation. At least it is in mine, and that's why I do this. 2 regulation sheets, 800 plus seats, team facilities, food and beverage on site. That's the tournament infrastructure. That's the checklist regional and national events to look for. Every tournament weekend brings hundreds of families into Bend. Hotels, restaurants, shop. Ice becomes an economic engine for the whole region. In the off season, exactly when Bend's tourism economy potentially needs it. Cities spend tens of millions chasing this. Central Oregon is getting it built by its own community, you guys. So let's talk about where we are, because I'm not selling you a dream, I'm reporting on the project. The site is secured, 7 acres, Northeast Bend, near the Les Schwab headquarters, right on 18th and Cooley. The designs are done, full architectural plans done, down to the locker room layouts and the refrigeration spec. Significant capital is already raised, real money from real people in this community who have decided to stop waiting. Contractors are engaged, permits are being applied. This is not an idea on a napkin. This is a project in motion, and the capital campaign is the final push to bring it across the line. Which brings me to you. And I'm going to be direct because you've earned it by watching this far. There are really 3 ways to be a part of this, and they cost 3 very different amounts. 1, donate. This is a 501c3 nonprofit. Your gift is tax deductible. And because the facility is designed to operate debt free, your dollars aren't servicing a bank loan for the next 30 years. They're pouring concrete, they're building ice, and they're funding the scholarship that takes a kid whose family couldn't afford it, gets them off a screen, and puts them on a team on the ice with a coach who believes in them and friends who will last a lifetime. That's what a donation buys here. There is no amount too small to matter and no amount too large to deploy. 2, partner. If you run a business or a foundation, think about what you actually buy with your sponsorship money. Usually it's a logo somewhere people ignore. Here's the alternative. Your name on a facility. That's 3,000 people. Walk through every week for decades in one of the fastest growing communities in the country, attached to youth sports, family, and community. Naming opportunities exist right now and at the facility level and throughout the building. These will not exist forever, and we do not have unlimited space here. The best inventory always goes first. It always does. And 3, if you can't do either, and plenty of people can't, that's fine. Share this, subscribe, send this video to one hockey family driving over the mountains and one that isn't a hockey family. One figure skater training at 5 a.m. in another city. One friend who's been playing, trying to get on a curling team for years. Awareness costs you nothing, and it's worth real money to this project. Word of mouth is how this community's project is going to get built. You watching this is proof. Here's the one thing I want to leave you with. Every town has a moment where it decides what kind of place it's going to be. Bend already decided it's a town that shows up for trails, rivers, skiing, for its kids, for each other. The Forge is just the same decision applied to an ice arena. Not a developer's project, not a franchise, a community that looked at its own athletes losing their sport to the calendar every year and said, nope. We build it here. We build it so well that people drive here. So here's the ask. One more time clean. If you want in, donate, partner, or just share. The contact is on the screen and in the description. You want to reach out to Tyler Brower, our Vice President of Strategic Partnerships and Development. Reach out today, not someday. Projects like this get finished by people who act in the week they've heard about it. Central Oregon has proven it loves ice. It just needs ice that doesn't melt. The waiting part is over. The building part is now. The Forge, where ice is core and community is our foundation. I'm excited to see you out there.